You're watching Battlecast Primetime, Premiere Edition. Where has Tanya been all these years? Hear from the makers themselves how this Battle Vixen has evolved throughout the decades. Command & Conquer 3, now Red Alert 3, but what does the future hold for the second decade of Command & Conquer? EALA General Manager Mike Verdu drops by to give us a little perspective on the franchise and what the future holds. And which Greg are you going to back in the main event? Battlecast Primetime starts now. You're logged in to Battlecast Primetime. Sitting next to my co-commander, Raj Joshi, I'm David Silverman. So Raj, Red Alert 3, it's finally out.
I know, I'm so excited. I just watched Kasavin's hour-long command school. I need all the help I can get.
Anyway, it's time to get you pumped up for Red Alert 3. You threw down your $15, so let's get down to business.
We've got loads of in-game highlights for you, in addition to some exclusives you can't find anywhere else. Making Red Alert 3 has been quite a journey, and Battlecast Primetime has been there on location every step of the way. Let's take a look back at the road to Red Alert 3.
This is Jenny McCarthy. You're watching Battlecast Primetime on Command & Conquer TV.
You're logged in to Battlecast Primetime. Here for the E3 freebies is Raj Joshi. I'm David Silverman.
Battlecast Primetime is on location at the LA Convention Center, direct from the E3 show floor.
I am live here at the Red Alert 3 Community Summit. Red Knight!
Red Knight! Scorch226 asks, will there be snipers? This is Amir Rao from the floor of E3 with Ask a Developer. Keep those great questions coming. Back to you guys.
From first to last, as we recorded the legendary Hell March, Battlecast Primetime was on location when the track was recorded. Let's see what the band had to say about breathing life into a video game classic.
Gina Carano! Young is in trouble. Here comes Carano.
We're here at Skywalker Ranch, a place that has housed some of the greatest minds of all time, and the birthplace for theatrical scores, orchestral recordings, and today, the recording of the Red Alert 3 soundtrack.
Hello! You want to know about Red Alert 3, right?
That's right. There's lots of great things announced for the first time here in Leipzig. The world has not heard before about Red Alert 3, and amongst those, of course, is cooperative gameplay for RTS. First time for real-time strategy.
Here to fill us in on a little bit more about co-op is executive producer Chris Corey.
Woo!
CNC games have always been known for having this rich single-player experience with cinematics and a deep story. Red Alert 3 is no different. We've got that too, but now you can go online with one of your buddies and experience that in real time with him or her. I just love actually having one of my friends to play the campaign together, and it works really well.
The other big announcement you guys made this week at Leipzig was the talent. What can you tell us about that?
It's so great to finally be able to talk about this great collection of actors and actresses that we've brought in for Red Alert 3. By the way, we have quite a collection of beautiful women in there as well.
For Raj Joshi, I'm David Silverman, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Let's turn now to Mike Verdu, who is no stranger to video games or Command & Conquer. Some of you might remember Mike from his stint as executive producer on such hits as Battle for Middle-earth 2 and the 2007 Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Best Strategy Game of the Year, Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars. So Mike, are you ready to face the firing squad?
Absolutely, bring it on.
So the last time we spoke, you were actually the executive producer for the Command & Conquer franchise. Now you've been promoted, elevated to this godlike status to being the head of all of the EA Los Angeles game studios. Congratulations on that.
Well, thank you.
And are you still involved in the development process at all?
So when I was EP of the CNC games, I was deeply involved with the creative process, spending virtually all of my time with the team, deep in the details of making the game. Now it's a little different, but the good news is that we got over 100 people who absolutely love CNC. They're taking the franchise to a wonderful place. The work on Red Alert 3 is spectacular. And so I think of myself now sort of more like the godfather of CNC than actually deeply involved in the creative process.
Command & Conquer has come a long way, and this is only the beginning of the second decade. What else is in store for Command & Conquer?
The story of Command & Conquer just beginning. I mean, you can think of the three universes that we have with Red Alert, Tiberium, and the General's universe. Future is a very bright one. There's lots of cool stuff to do yet.
So I'm obligated by the fans here. So I saw Command & Conquer 3, Tiberium Wars. I saw Red Alert 3, Generals 2.
I'm a big fan of Generals. I worked on that project. That's where I came into to RTS, where I came into EA. Don't be surprised to see another installment of Generals at some point in the future, but certainly nothing to talk about just yet.
It's a pretty big tease. You know, Red Alert 3, and even since the very first Command & Conquer game back in 1995, they introduced this concept of multiplayer gameplay. That concept of multiplayer gaming has continued all throughout the franchise. Red Alert 3, they're adding in the notion of cooperative gameplay. You know, do you see multiplayer kind of taking on new shape and form in the future of the franchise?
There's no question that online is transforming not just real-time strategy games, but gaming as a whole. And I'm proud that Command & Conquer pioneered on the online multiplayer. You think back to the original CNC and the fact that that really is what got multiplayer RTS gaming going. It's a way to get our players not just involved with the game, but involved socially, and it wouldn't surprise me to see the number of players increasing and the ways that people interact getting much richer and much deeper. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff to come.
Now, people who purchase the Premier Edition of Red Alert 3, you know, they have this piece of paper in their hands that says beta key to a future Command & Conquer game. Silver bullet question, Mike Verdu, what's the game?
So I am absolutely not going to say anything about it other than it's a really cool game, and online figures quite prominently in it.
All right, well, how about tell us, when will the beta code likely be active?
You can look for something in early 2009.
All right, Mike Verdu, thank you so much. Despite the fact that we couldn't get many secrets divulged from Mr. Verdu, one thing is for sure, this is definitely an exciting time to be a Command & Conquer fan. Still to come, we've got even more exclusive content to reveal. Members of the dev team battle it out for your amusement in a special edition of the Battlecast 5. And Command School Guru takes on lead multiplayer designer in the biggest main event yet, when Battlecast Primetime continues on Command & Conquer TV.
This is an historic day marking the swearing in of America's first female president.
You're going to be the most powerful person in the world.
Our embassy in Sangala just got word of an imminent coup.
The order came down from the president. We're rolling up all U.S. nationals.
You are now soldiers in the People's Freedom Army.
This fall, history will be made.
Our involvement could avert a genocide.
A new enemy will rise.
We're taking back our country.
And the only hope to stop him disappeared.
I think they're headed for the school.
Until now.
Jack, don't let them take my kids.
Go with them now.
Where are the children?
In the trees now, move!
My fellow citizens, we all share the responsibility. Our future depends on it.
Open the gate!
Kiefer Sutherland returns in 24.
Welcome back to Battlecast Primetime. I'm Raj Joshi.
Well, you know, Raj, we can't give the fans a proper Red Alert bonus episode without a little bit of Tanya. She's the pride and joy of the Allied forces and a fan favorite all the way back from Red Alert 1. Check out this Battlecast Primetime exclusive look into the making of Tanya in Birth of a Unit.
I think that the reason Tanya lives on more than anything else is the fans just simply demand it. They love the character, they love her moves, they love working through the missions with her, and at the end of the day, she's just tons of fun. When we did the first Command & Conquer, we loved the Commando character. We thought it would be seriously kick-ass if we could have some hot girl doing all those cool things and really make her very powerful, somebody that could really get in there and mess up the enemy. All of the casting for the original Red Alert was done by Joe Kukin, who played Kane for the Tiberian series, and we were looking for a girl that wasn't too pillowy, somebody that had a little bit of an edge to her. You could believe that she could kick some ass, and Lynn was just fantastic for that role. Moving the game from Red Alert 1 to Red Alert 2, we took it a little bit more seriously in Red Alert 1, and as we got toward the end of the product, we could really tell that this was going to be a little bit more B-movies, 50s feel, and so with Red Alert 2, we really leaned into that a lot and made it a lot of fun, especially with Yuri's Revenge. So the character changed because it's a little bit over the top.
General, I hope the commander is up to speed because we don't have time to waste.
I'm sure Tanya has every confidence in you, Commander.
Oh, you're sure? Well, it's not your life that's on the line out here.
With Red Alert 2, Carrie Ward just really sort of jumped off the page for us more than anything else. When she acted the character out, we could tell that she would add that just a little bit of camp to make it lots of fun. I think especially with a role like Tanya Adams, it's really important to be able to keep that character fresh, keep it somebody that's in the local media, somebody that fans can identify with, especially new fans. So we have to make a trade-off. And in some cases we can keep the actor or actress. In other cases we have to go with the new one. At the end of the day, I think the fans really like the change. For Red Alert 3, Jenny McCarthy seems like the perfect choice. Just that much more believable, that much more entertaining to see in the game. We really played up that tension between Eva and Tanya. What they really are is they're jealous of each other, looking for attention. And of course, it's kind of funny in that way because, you know, here he is, this commander who's going out doing these great things, winning these battles and all, and you got these two very different characters trying to vie for attention. One a little bit more by the book, one definitely the maverick and the rebel. And I think that actually adds a little bit more depth to the character because as an action star, having something emotional to react to really helps. If I had to choose between Jenny McCarthy, who's Tanya in Red Alert 3, or Carrie Wurr for Tanya in Red Alert 2, I'd have to decline the date because I'm a married man and I'd get killed if I even went anywhere near either one of them.
These next guys don't need any help from us because they made the game. We've got some special matchups in tonight's edition of the Battlecast 5. It's Jim Vasella as the Soviets versus Amir Ajami as the Empire on Secret Shrine in this endgame match. Soviets fly their V4s across the map with twin blades to their enemy's back door. The Empire gets hammered by a war on two fronts as dreadnoughts start shelling the base from the shoreline. With no navy to speak of, the Empire decides to take on the V4s first with an impressive land-based assault. The King-Onis make short work of the Soviet artillery, but nothing can stop the rockets from leveling the Empire's base. With no retreat possible, the Empire marches on the Soviets, clearing the path with the psionic decimator that demolishes the entire camp. The Rocket Angels and Mechas move in, and it's bad news bears. Who will demolish the final structure? The Soviets? No! It's the King-Onis that blow the motherland to kingdom come.
4. It's Aaron Apoc Kaufman playing the Empire of the Rising Sun versus Keith Schaefer, the Allies. Wave Force artillery rolls into a base that's only defended by bushes. But those crafty allies use the chronosphere power to send that entire Empire regiment to the bottom of the sea. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. The bushes actually turned out to be none other than Mirage tanks in disguise, and the Empire is once again sent packing. The Allies take to the air with sentry bombers ready to reenact Normandy. The bombers fly for the Empire, but wait, they're turning around. Those crafty allies were just clearing the fog of war to make way for the Proton Collider. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. With the Empire's entire defense eliminated, it's pretty easy to guess who takes home the gold on this one. Victory for Keith Schaefer and the Allies.
3.
It's David Silverman as the Soviets versus Sam Bass as the Allies. David learns the hard way why you don't just spam your most impressive unit. The Allies shrink race some APOCs and plow through 30,000 credits with a few Guardian tanks. Oh, David, that's gotta hurt. The Allies move right along, leaving one frozen tank behind, which, oh, I love this part. But the convoy is waylaid by the Soviet vacuum imploder. Who needs Einstein when you've got that? The Allies are forced to rebuild as the Soviet Air Force charges forward. The Kirov fleet arrives, assisted by a Desolator airstrike that takes out those pesky Javelin soldiers. The Kirovs rain hell down from the skies in classic commie fashion. Soviets get the win.
It's Jill Donald's Soviets versus Matt Ott's Empire of the Rising Sun on Battlebase Beta. Jill's super reactor goes Nova, demolishing half her structures, and the Soviet MCV is just barely able to escape. Jill wastes no time rebuilding, though, takes to the water and is now safe from the Empire's land-based army. An airfield and a shipyard are already cranking out units before Matt Ott can respond with a fleet of his own. They meet practically no resistance. Where is Jill's army? While it's already on the warpath, burning its way to the Empire of the Rising Sun. The afterburners leave the Kirovs damaged before the fight even begins. But as the dreadnoughts rain down rockets and the flaming Kirov carcasses take out everything else, it looks like Jill is sitting pretty on another big win.
It's Drew Stauffer as the Soviets versus Jeremy Fiesel as the Allies. This early game sees some intense action as the Soviets blindly man-cannon an army right into a sea of Allied Javelin soldiers? Whoops! It's a festival of parachuting corpses that our boys in blue easily mop up. The Allies get busy cranking out dogs, IFVs, Mirage tanks, and Tanya. C4 coming through. Tanya swims right under the commies' noses and starts blowing up dreadnought after dreadnought. That's the cue. With no Navy, the ground forces move in and start demolishing the place. Tanya makes a suicide run, taking out the super reactor and half the base. But with no ground troops left, it's up to the Allied aircraft carrier to finish the job. Bullfrogs nail the drones. Can they catch them all? No! Just enough make it through to destroy the Red Menace for good in honor of Tanya's brilliant sacrifice. Woo! She's one feisty vixen. Can't wait to see Jenny McCarthy as this badass.
Still to come, the Battle of the Gregs unfolds. Will it be Kasavin, the man who's been teaching you how to play CNC for a year now? Or the one who designed multiplayer and puts the B in balance, Greg Black? Black's biggest battle begins when we return on Command & Conquer TV.
War is everywhere. The dwarves fight a desperate battle against the savage greenskins. The Empire is under siege by the marauding armies of chaos. And across the great ocean, the Dark Elves assault Ulthuan, the island home of the High Elves. Faced with certain doom, elves, men, and dwarves have united their forces to form an alliance of order. Should they fail, the forces of destruction will conquer all. This is the dawn of a new age, an age where the fate of nations will be forged in the fires of war. This is the age of reckoning.